Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you so much for joining me again today for another card making video that's not a card making video. It is for a 3D project. So going totally outside my wheelhouse today to make something in the third dimension. Okay. This project is for our Project Share project blog hop that we do on the first Saturday of every month. So that's myself, Heather, Vicky and Jane. All the links will be so in the description there's a link to my blog which will have the links to everybody else's, so do check it out. It is a blog hop. Some of the ladies do videos as well, so I'm sure you'll see them along the way as well. So Jane's a master at 3D projects, whereas I am most definitely a card maker, so I always really envy what she does, so I'm sure she'll have come up with something fantastic for this hop. But I've had a go at making a mini album. This is a paper bag mini album, which I've seen before on various channels and things, but I've never had a go at making one. They're not really my jam. So I kind of remembered that you could do it, and I just had a go, basically. Didn't really reference anything, I just went with it. This one uses Early Espresso on Wild Wheat, so one of the in colours, and I've used Petal Park and this fabulous stamp set, which I've only just got, and I can't believe I didn't get it, called Of Art and Texture, and it really reminds me of a set we used to have years ago called Gorgeous Grunge, which was absolutely amazing, and I used it all the time. And I don't know, this one just didn't speak to me originally, and I decided to get it. I think this might be one that I just keep in the stash, just in case, because it is one that will retire. As will Petal Park, the stamp set I've used for this, so you get the leaves and the flowers, so they're retiring stamp sets. So that's what I've used to decorate this throughout, and then I've got the coordinating in colour ribbon, which I've just sort of sandwiched between the layers on the cover, and just done like a little loose bow to tie everything together. And so this is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. There are things to improve. So you open it up. I had to bind it in a different way, which was a bit messy, and I've realised how I can improve that. So then there's a page where you can either write or whatever, and then the paper bag itself then makes like pockets that you can like put your tickets, photos or other memorabilia, whatever you want in there. I put another panel on there so it might tell you what's in there, and sort of sew on through here. So the pack of paper bags, to go all the way through, just kind of kept the colour and the themes together, but it doesn't really sit flat. I've almost done like a book fold, and it's kind of a bit bulky in the middle and doesn't sit flat, but it does. And there's the pocket at the back. I kept the back plain, and then we'll just tie it together, and then you could probably decorate the front a little bit more, or leave it to your recipient to do. Okay, so that's kind of where we're going to head with this, but like I say, I've learned a little bit, and we're going to improve on the middle a little bit. Okay, so I'll pop that to one side. So I'm still going to use this Art of Texture because I like it a lot, and we're using this sort of hash thing. It's got some speckles in it, and then this other splatter as well, but there's all heaps of things that you can use in there to make that jazzy, and it's photopolymer as well. But I'm going to decorate using the colour on contour, and in fact I've only taken out the outline stamp. I think I'll get out this one, and I might get out this one as well. Okay, I'm not putting words into this deliberately because it's kind of a project that you'll gift, and then people will add to it. The recipient will add to it. What block should I use for this one? Because I'm likely Don't know whether I'm likely to use all of it or some of it or what, but oh, it'll fit on an H block well enough. That'll do. Okay, and like with this one, now I didn't have any wild wheat cardstock. I've run out of wild wheat cardstock, and that was the intention, to make it all in wild wheat and have the accents. Okay, so this one I'm going to do in boho blue, and then I'm going to have starry sky accents. Okay, so starry sky is one of the exiting in colours. This is retiring, but it's a really, really cool colour. So we're going to use those two together, which I discovered go really, really well on that other project that I did. Well, that happened to be that colour. Didn't really think about that, actually. You could equally use Moody Mauve with Blackberry Bliss or something like that. What was I just about to get out? I don't know. But I'll bring in my bits and pieces. Oh, the bags. That was it. Right, okay, the bags. These are the 2023 In Colour Treat bags. Okay, you get 25, so you get 5 of each colour. And basically I've used all 5 in the colourway that I'm using. Okay, so I've still got my Moody Mauve, my Copper Clay and my Pebble Path ones. So in theory you could make 5 of these in a single colour using 5 pages. Buy a couple of packs and you can bulk it out, or you could even use one of each colour and have each page a different colour and then make sort of a neutral cover for it, maybe in crumb cake or something like that, which would look nice. So loads of ideas, and of course there's loads of different paper bags available reasonably cheaply that you could use as an alternative. Okay, so I've already done a bit of cutting and stuff ahead of time because obviously there's quite a lot to this. So I've kind of loosely put it together in the way that I think it's going to go. So first of all, this front panel is going to be 4 3/4 by 6. And you'll notice throughout I've rounded the corners on the right hand side. I've used my Very Best Trio Punch. This is a retired product, but use any corner round you've got. There's loads available on the market, and I'd say it's probably optional. You probably don't have to round the corners, but I thought it looked quite nice with the rounded corners. Okay, so that's the one that's going to go on the front. Okay, the front and back panel are here. So those are going to measure, oh, there it is. Sorry, I was reflecting on the thing. I was like, I'm sure I've written it down because there's no way I'm going to remember. 6 1/8 by 4 7/8 of an inch. And again, I've rounded the corner, so I've cut 2 of those for the front and the back. Okay. So that's the cover. Okay. And then I've created a spine piece. Okay, so that will be 6 1/8 of an inch. No, it won't. It'll be 4 7/8 of an inch high to match the covers, and it is 1 3/4 inches. That's 3/4 of an inch and 1 inch score lines to make a spine. Okay, or score both sides at 3/4. It'll leave you with a spine. Okay, so that's how that's going to go. So if I keep all these things together, I'm going to try and keep myself organised. Too many bits and pieces. Okay, so that's what the cover is going to be made from. Okay, and then the inside pages all measure 4 1/2 by 5 3/4, and again we've rounded those corners. Okay, so you've got 1 for each of the paper bags, so you'll need 5 of those. Okay, 5 of those. And for the bag itself, there's a seam where the bag's constructed, okay, which is just short of 3/4 of an inch. So I have scored at 3/4 of an inch and folded that over. Okay, and then there's a seam on what would be the back of the bag. So this would be the front normally if you were using it like that, and there's a seam at the back. So we're going to use the panel to actually cover up most of that seam, so we get left with something clean on that side. Okay, so that's how that's going to go. So we're going to stick that down inside there, and I don't know, maybe not quite to the score line, make it sort of central-ish. Okay, and then the pages are going to be sort of bound together by this flap. So this flap's actually going to adhere to the back of the page in front of it to create that spine. Okay, so that's where I went wrong with the other one, because it meant that the whole of this bit was rigid and it didn't fold out properly. But if I do it this way, we're going to end up with a proper functional spine, and this is going to all be glued together, which means I don't need to try and secure the rest of it. So I hope that kind of makes sense. Proof will be in the pudding. Right, when I start putting it all together, right? So I think the first thing we're going to do is get our inserts all decorated up. Okay, so I'm going to pop the paper bags to one side for now. Okay, and then we'll start decorating the inside panels. Oh man, there's so much stuff everywhere. Hang on. Inside panel, and I guess we can do the front as well, because it's all sort of on a theme. Okay, so let's do a bit of that then. Okay, so I've written on the back of this one to make sure I can turn it over and then decorate the front. So bear with a sec, we'll get all the stuff together. So to decorate our inside panel, we're going to use the boho blue ink to go around the edges. So I'm just looking for a piece of scrap that I can just take the ink off on. Okay, let's just move those just for a second. So remember, we've got 5 of these to do. Okay, so just going to make sure that that's cleanish. Load up your brush. Okay, looks like you're using loads and wasting loads, but you're not really. Okay, it just gets that ink really nicely distributed onto the brush, so you don't get nasty lines on it and stuff. If you're worried about it being a bit heavy, if you start on this bit that's going to be kind of tucked away a little bit, it'll get lighter as you go around. But I just want to sort of bring in just a little bit of colour across the edge here, and I'm almost going sort of back and forth rather than round and round, just to sort of give it this sort of rustic and distressed kind of look. Okay, so that's what we're going to do with all of those. So we'll whiz round all of them. hopefully it'll sort itself out. Okay, so this grungy, lovely stamp, this is the one that we're going to use. Really like that. Okay, and we're going to pop that in with full strength and sort of stamp it off a little bit. And we can do that a couple of times across there just to bring in that kind of grungy look. Same orientation on the stamp, but just twisting the paper around. This is the cover, so I'm just going with a little bit more on this one, just to sort of really bring that out. Okay, so that's all gonna be a really nice backdrop for the rest of it. And this is where could add some more of the splatter in if you wanted to, just to sort of bring in a bit of depth to the border. Don't know where that little bit came from, might have been the edge of the ink pad, but it's fine, it's all random. Okay, but just around the edges a little bit, just to sort of bring that all in. Okay, but the main focus for this colour was going to be this nice flower to bring in those. Okay, and again, not necessarily all over the place, just to bring them in and break up that front panel a little bit. Okay, alright, so that's the front, and then these are going to be the inside pages. Again, quite like one that's coming in off there, so similar but different. Okay, and we're going to go and do all of those. We've got 5 inserts there that we can now use in our book. Okay, just realised there's another step that I wanted to just quickly do, and I'm going to use the Starry Sky, I think, and I'm going to take off this white raw edge, okay, which means it'll just blend in a little bit more on the project. So just a little bit on that edge. I'd recommend doing this so that the back is facing you, so that if you slip with the pen, like I just did a little bit there, it's not going to go on the front of your project. So I hold mine like this, facing off to the right. Of course, the vast majority of you are going to be right-handed people, so you hold yours the other way around. It only takes a second to do, but I do think it does help make everything look a little bit more cohesive. I'm using a Stampin' Blend because they dry real quick. You can use sponge dauber on your ink pad, or you can use a Stampin' Write marker, but those are our water-based products, so you might just want to give that just a little minute or two to be completely dry before you start doing anything with them. But this will dry practically straight away. Okay, right, so let's just take the front cover out for a second, put that to one side. So many bits and pieces, so many. Okay, so let's start putting together our pages. Okay, so we're just doing cardstock to paper, so I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal. You use whatever glue you want for this, so just going around the edges of that. And securing this in. So I'm just twizzling this around just to make it easier for me to manipulate, really. So that's how far it would be if it was all the way in, but I think I might just pull it out just a little bit just to create just a little border. Just make sure it's lined up. Okay, and then we'll secure all of those inserts in place like that. Oops. Okay, the paper bags, they're not thin, but they're not as thick as like a DSP or anything, so I don't know how well they'd cope with lots of wet glue on them. Whether they might buckle a bit. Could use some double-sided tape as well, so that's kind of a bit stronger. And then of course we do have Seal Plus, which is a bit stronger than the regular Stampin' Seal as well. So loads of different ways you could adhere this down. So I'm sure this will be just fine for this. Create our spines. Okay, so as I say, we're going to have to think about this. Oh, that's it, right, that's it, got it. This flap that we've created is going to have glue on there and attached to the back of the page that's going to come in front of it. Okay, alright, so this is a bit where, so this is double thickness. So I think some wet glue would probably be wise on this, or the double-sided tape, or lost it, there it is, the Seal Plus. Ooh, but not as much as that. Okay, so I'm going to put it on the back of that flap. I'm going to bring the next page along and kind of bring it together like that. Okay, but I want to make sure that it kind of lines up a bit. Okay. Oops. And then do the next one. So we're gonna, if it's on the floor, it's going to be a little bit, as the book builds up, it's going to move a little bit. So get it into position and then lift it up and slide it, which is one of the advantages of using the wet glue, so you can get that together. Okay. So that really could do with just adhering for a little bit, really. So what I found were good were these little bulldog clips, which will just kind of keep that in place. I suppose to the end would be good as well. Okay, so those can stay there now, and we can make sure that that's nice and dry. So we can just give that just 5 minutes just to make sure it's completely solid, and then we'll come back to it. Okay, so hopefully this should be all nice and secure now. That's going to go to the front cover, but we should have pages that will flip over. That's great. Superb. Okay. Right, so let's start putting this cover together then. I need to rub out this writing on here. So we'll just quickly erase that. Just use a nice good quality rubber. We'll get that off, no problem. I only did it real only lightly to make sure I could get it all off. Okay, so I don't want this cover to actually stick to this. Okay, I'm going to keep it kind of free. So the little spiny bits that we are going to use, I'm going to use just for speed, I'm going to use the seal. Okay, and we'll put down plenty on there, and we'll just pop this on the back. Make sure it's lined up though. Okay, so you're going to have this sort of seam on the back, but you know how some notebooks are like that, they've got that kind of seam on it. You could stamp it and make a feature of it. Okay, so it's there. Okay, and then this bit is going to adhere to that panel here. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. The front panel needs to go on to here. Or does it? Hang on, let me think about it. Do I want it? Because that will match the back then, that it's kind of like that. But then we're going to put the front panel on it anyway. So I don't suppose it really actually matters, because that's going to cover it up either way. But it probably makes more sense to have that like that, that like that. And yeah, okay, right, cool. That's what we're doing. Okie dokie. So let's put our front cover on this then. And then we'll secure it there. Okay. Oh wow, I don't know how you guys make all these 3D projects look so easy, because they really hurt my brain, I'm telling you. Okay, so let's just pop put that on there then, lining it up with that score line. Okay. I don't suppose it matters which way round you do all this stuff. Just whatever looks most aesthetically pleasing to you. Okay, so you could stick them both so that you've got that seam covered up. Okay, but it just kind of depends on how you want to construct everything, really. Okay, and then this bit is the bit that's going to seal here. Okay, so I just want to make sure that sits in, keep it all in place. Okay, and then I'm going to pop that across there as close to the edge as possible and bring it across like so. So hopefully now this is secured. The whole book itself is secured to the front cover. I've got pages that turn much more easily than I did in my prototype, and I can actually get to the back page as well, because I couldn't get to the back page very much on there. We could line that actually as well, so you could do another one same size as this and line the back page as well. So we won't do that now. But having thought about it, you've now got another space that you can actually add to on there. So this is our front, but almost forgot. Oh, right. I'm going to need another piece to hide my ribbon. Okay, so what size did we say this was? Now that I've fingered it. Back and front covers 4 7/8 by 6 1/8. Is that 6 1/8? No, it isn't. Is that long enough to be 6 1/8? Yep. By 4 7/8. In fact, probably need it a little bit smaller than that. Let's just take off 1/8 of an inch, because it's a layer onto that back cover. Let's just take off an extra 1/8 of an inch. So this would be hopefully the same as the front panel, which would be 4 3/4 by 6. Yeah, okay. We'll use our little trio punch around those corners. Okay, but we're not going to decorate that one unless you really want to. If you want to, go ahead and do it. Okay, so this, so it doesn't matter about that now because we're covering it up. Okay, so that's going to go on there to hide ribbon. Okay, so I'm just going to use my seal just to secure that in place temporarily. And then, because we want this to be a really nice bond, we will use wet glue to make sure this gets stuck down really well over the middle where that ribbon's going to be. So that looks like tons of glue, but when you've got something kinetic like this, you probably want something quite strong. Okay, and it's going to give us a bit of wriggle room just to make sure that we've got it lined up nice enough. As it's, you know, blue on blue, it's not going to show too much, but we want it to look nice. Okay, not overhang. And this glue, once it dries as well, it will give the project a little bit of extra rigidity as well. So same on the front, we'll pop some seal across just to temporarily secure this across the middle. Okay, and then like we did with the blue panel, we'll do that with our stamped panel here. Okay, plenty of it. So I want that ribbon to stay put, not come out, which is why I've taken it so far in as well, not just secured it at the end so you can't tear it out. And just again making sure that that's all nice and lined up, because obviously this is the front. Okay, cool. Okay, I think that's pretty much it then. We're done. Okay, and obviously we'll tie that up. Oh no, we're not done, are we? We need to put some nice decorative panels on the inside as well. Or I could just leave it at that, and you could kind of think about how you would like to decorate that further if you want to. And this is giving you the idea of how to build an album like this, giving you some ideas of what measurements to use. But you know, a panel on the inside there, and then what I'd done, I had put in like a square on here as well, so you could really lay that up. Okay, and or just put in some journaling cards, use some memory and more cards maybe. Okay, a bit of glue's come out of there, but you can use a glue eraser and just rub that away. Okay, those little tiny details before you gift it. We've still got the pockets that are available to use, and it all opens including the back page. Okay, great, love it, it worked. So that was obviously much longer video than usual, but I hope it's kind of giving you an idea of what you can do. Colour and contour with the of art and texture. That's a great set. That's a great set. Okay, the one on the Wild Wheat was with Petal Park, and then coordinating ribbon. Either use contrasting cardstock with the colour, or do it tone on tone, whichever you prefer. Loads of colour options, loads of different ribbons we can use and everything. And like I say, these bags, those are in colour ones. They're the ones that are available at the moment. They won't be carrying over into the new annual catalogue. The in colour stuff tends to change anyway. Okay, but equally you could apply this to other paper bags that you've got or could purchase from somewhere else. Okay, that's it from me today. Thanks ever so much for joining me for this. I hope you've enjoyed it. I actually quite enjoyed making them, to be fair. It was quite good fun. Take care, see you soon, and don't forget to check out everybody else's projects. Alright, see you soon. Bye.